Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. It's quite a long time since I did a whole set of approachable puzzles in a video, but that is the plan today. Decatron has sent us six 6x6 puzzles. Now, I did discover they don't use the digits 1 to 6, although Decatron didn't include the rules in his email. When I was just loading up the first puzzle, actually it was these two X's that made it clear to me that these are not using the digits 1 to 6, and I had to look up the puzzles on Logic Masters Germany where he'd posted them to find out what the rules were. What I'm going to do with as regards the rules, I'm going to explain them all the rules for all the puzzles at the beginning, even the constraints that don't appear in the first puzzle, so that I can just kind of, as far as possible, blitz through the puzzles. And in the description field under the video, you'll be able to see a kind of compendium of all the rules for these puzzles. It's not very long, actually, because most of them have one sort of simple rule type or a second, I think. So that is how we will approach these approachable puzzles. And I'm looking forward to giving that a go. Now, if you want a bit of an approachable Patreon reward, that's this month's. So Japanese Sums by Panthera, aka the PBN Institute, this month is playing very popular. You can check it out on our Patreon. Even if you go there, you can see a couple of example puzzles, videos about those by 12-year-old Fast Sandals, and thanks to him for those. And then you can have a go at the 13 puzzles in Panthera's calendar. Yes, I said 13. And that is our Patreon reward for the month. And they're Japanese sums off by one. Not very approachable, but some of them are quite tough. But it's a rule set that you can get your head around, is what I would say. Now, also on Patreon, we've got some fiendishly hard cryptic crosswords, gridogram and connections. And on our apps, we've got all of the rule sets we'll be featuring today, featuring some of our apps. So do check those out. They are very relevant. We've even got a classic Sudoku too, and the worms. So there's a load of content to engage with around the channel. But the main thing is for me to attempt these approachable puzzles today. I'm going to go through the full set of rules now. So they're all called variant lesson something. The first one is variant lesson Dominoes. And in each puzzle, we're going to place 6 unique digits from 1 to 9 into the grid, such that each digit appears 6 times, and any given digit does not repeat in any row, column, or 2x3 box. So we don't know what the 6 digits are. They're from 1 to 9, and we're going to find them for each puzzle. Which 6 digits to use must be determined. Now, the other rules are that digits in adjacent cells separated by X sum to 10, by V sum to 5, by a white dot are consecutive, and on a black dot, one digit is double the other. So those are the rules relevant to this puzzle. Now, the rules that will be relevant to future puzzles in the series, all of which I will attempt today, are that digits along a thermometer increase from the bulb. On a green line, adjacent digits have a difference of at least 5. Within a marked cage, digits don't repeat and they sum to the values shown. Digits don't repeat along a marked diagonal. Box borders divide a blue line into segments with the same sum. And the digits on the path of an arrow sum to the digit in the circle at its base. As I say, all those rules are in the description field, and they're all above my head. And I'm just going to try and crack through these puzzles one at a time, restarting them and seeing what sort of time I can achieve. The fun of this sort of video for the viewer is seeing which of the puzzles completely holds me up. Of course, it might be more than one, but let's get cracking. Okay, so in each puzzle, we're going to have to determine the digits used, and 4 of them add up to 10 here. I mean, I don't think these are going to be as approachable as Decatron is claiming, frankly, because of the uncertainty over the digits. There are 3 consecutive digits in this puzzle, though. And the ones that add up to 10, well, the only way to use 2 of those in the 3 consecutives is if those are 4, 5, and 6, I think. But there's no 5 in the puzzle, according to row 3. It just wouldn't go in anywhere there without breaking some constraint. So there are 2 sets of 10 digits and another digit that joins them. There's no 5 in the puzzle. These are 2 low digits. Oh, I don't know. Could they be 1, 2, and 3, 4 on the 2 V's? And then 2 high digits making the 10 sum? Yes, I think they could. Ah, that's tricky to work out. Or are these the same pair of V digits? If they were, they'd have to appear here and here. That's reasonable. Ah, these are not wildly approachable. How on earth do you start this? Okay, this could be a very long video if all the puzzles are like this. Row 3, every cell has is taking part in something. Oh, goodness me, I don't know. If that was 1, 4, this would have to be a 3, 6 black dot. Oh, and if it's 2, 3, this would be a 4, 8 black dot. So this is either 3, 6 or 4, 8, depending on what that is. If that was 1, 4, this would be 3, 6. That couldn't be 4 again. It would have to be 7. So I know which way round the 3, 6 would be. If that was 2, 3, this would be 4, 8. And this digit would be 6 or 2. Well, it couldn't be 2 again. It would be 6. So the 4, 8 only has one possible way round. Okay, well, that's interesting. Now, when would that be 6? 6, 4, that doesn't work. No, 6, 3, 7, 1, 4, that does work. 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. This would either be using 3, 4, or 6, 7. No, it could be using 1 and 3. Okay, 8, 4, 6, 2, 3. This would probably be 2, 3, 4. Ah, goodness. Okay, well, I mean, at least I've got a sort of start. 3 and 4 are both in use in the puzzle, because whichever one isn't there is here. Is that good? It's not good enough. If this was 1, 4, then 1, 4, 3, 6, 7. 3, 6, and 7, that would have to be a 2, 8. Ah, and that would be 7 different digits in use. Is that right? If this was 1, 4, this would be 6, 3, 7. This couldn't be 6, 4 or 3, 7. Hang on, this could be 1, 9. 1, 4, 6, 3, 7, 1, 9. So we'd be using 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. That digit would be 9. That would be 8. Ah, this works. Bother. Okay, let's try it with 2, 3. 2, 3 gives 8, 4, 6. And this couldn't be 8, 2 or 4, 6. If that was 2, 3, that would have to be the 2. And this would then be 3, 7. Ah, maybe I should think about that. If this was 1, 4... 6 would be in play there, so 4 couldn't be there. 4 would have to be here. So this is either the 4 from the 1, 4 or the 2 from the 2, 3 that appears here. Have we advanced at all? I don't know. If it's 1, 4, that's 1, 9. If it's 2, 3, that's 3, 7. So this is an odd pair on here. Now, if that was 3, 7, this would go 6, 4, 8, 2. 2, 3, 7. That would be 4. Because only 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 would be in play. If that's 1, 9, this is 1, 4, and that's 4. Then we're using 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, and we don't have a companion for the 4 on the black dot because we're not using 2 or 8. So that's not 1, 4. Right, got it. That's 2, 3. Here we go. This is 3, 7. That's 4. That's 6. That's 8. This is 2. This digit is 4. We're using 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. That's a 7. That's an 8. This is all working. Phew! I mean, okay, what's this? It's not 2, 4. Oh, it could be 8, 4 or 6, 3. Don't know. What's this? 2, 4 or 6, 3? Don't know. This is either 2, 3, 4 or 6, 7, 8. So that digit is 3 or 7. If it was 2, 3, 4, could you make this up? No, because that would be 2, 3, 4. We'd have 3, 4 here. You couldn't use either 3 or 4 on that black dot and it would fail. So this is 6, 7, 8. That's not going to tell me what this is. This digit is 3, 6 or 8. That's no help. There's a 7 that can't go there and must go here. There's a 4 in one of those cells. There's a 4 in one of these. Oh, this V can't be 1, 4 because we're not using 1. That's the easy way to go. This pair is a 6, 4 pair based on sort of a naked pair. That's a 2 or 3. This is a 6 or 8 now. These are a 7, 8 pair though. So now we know that's 6 going with 3. We put 4 in the corner. That's a 2, 3 pair. That's a 4. This has become 2. That's 8. That's 6. This is now not 6, 3, so it is 8, 4. That's 2. We obviously get a 3 in the corner. Unsurprising with so few digits in play. This is 3, 6, 7. That fixes 6, 8. And that fixes 8, 7. Right, there's the first one done. Key takeaways. Wow. Well, I mean, it's a bit of coaching at the end there. Time of 8:19. Well, it's not, okay, it's not quite what I was going for, but it's a reasonable time. And it doesn't discourage me from trying the next one. Thermos. Okay, let's do this. So that one is a 6-cell thermo. Well, that's good news. Oh, no, 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 I can't fill it in because I don't know what digits are in play. What I could do, I don't know, is this cheating? I don't think it's cheating. I'm going to use letters and say that the 6 digits in this puzzle are A, B, C, D, E, F. Let's try that. Then this is an E, F pair. This is A, B, and C. We've got a couple of black dots in this puzzle that have leaked in from the last one. This is A, B, and F, but F is the 6th biggest digit, so it's not sitting there. This is A or B. In fact, we could pencil mark. This is A or B as well, because it's the first digit. In fact, that must be B. That must be A. Now, this is C or D as we ascend the thermo, D or E, E or F, because we know the order of the digits. We don't know what the digits are, but we know their order along the thermo. That can't be A or B anymore in this box, so that's F. This is A. I think this was a good strategy. Right, A is the lowest digit of all, so it can't go there and must go here in box 4. That's not an A. That's A, B. Oh, this can't be E or F. So it's B, C, or D, and that is lower in the alphabet. I'm lucky I can use the alphabet here. This is C, D, or E. It's almost giving us a triple. It's only giving us one place for F in this column. That's intriguing. So F goes there. These are from B, C, D. That has to be lower than this one. So this one can't be B. It must be C or D, and that's B or C. And now this is a triple, and that's F. And that forces this to be E and that to be F. This one can't be B in the column. There's only one place for B in the box. This is a C, D, E triple, including that. So this is B. That needs A to go before it on the bulb. This is C or D. This is not F. So the F in the top row is at the end. That's C, D, or E in its column. Right, we need an A, it turns out, in this column, and a B in this row, and that's going to fix this to be C and this to be B. Now, I might actually run out of things I can do without using the black dots at this point. I think on the thermos, I'm kind of cooked. Maybe there's still Sudoku I can do. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to look at the black dots because I can't find any more obvious Sudoku to do. Now, C is lower than D or E, but they're quite close together. That's quite interesting. They can't be 1 or 2. C is lower than D, so C is 3 or 4. D can't be as high as 8. No, hang on. Hang on, this could be E. Oh, bother. Okay, C is 3 or 4. And this digit is higher on the thermo. So, right, that is also lower than this digit. F can't be 9 because it can't be on a black dot. This also begins with C or D. So these two both begin with 3 or 4 and go to a higher one. They can't be the same, so that must be D. They can't be the same because they're not ending in the same digit, as it were. Now, that's not D. Has that not enabled me to finish this? They also go to different ends. They don't. C doesn't go to D because C is starting as 3 or 4. You can't then go to D and then go on to F. So C is connecting to E. C and D are 3 and 4, and we actually know the order of those because obviously C comes before D down here. So let's just finish off the letter Sudoku first, and then we convert C to a 3, E to a 6, D to a 4, F to an 8, A and B must be 1 and 2 on this thermo, and we are going to be done. There we go. Key takeaways. Always start with longer thermometers. Okay, again, more coaching. Excellent. But we are going to move on to the third puzzle. German Whispers by Decatron. Right. Here we go. There's a thermo. I can just... No, I can't fill it. I could fill it in with A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, let's try that again, because it worked pretty well last time, if I'm honest. A, B, C, D, E, F. Now, the trouble with that is, what on earth does it... Okay, first of all, there's no 5 in the puzzle, because you can't put 5 on a green line, and you can't put it in the first cell of a 6-cell thermo. So every digit in the puzzle is from a high-low category. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Okay, I'm not going to do A, B, C, D, E, F. What I'm going to do is colour this one, green and pink. Oh, green's a terrible choice of colour, isn't it? Let's go light. Let's go red and yellow. Red and yellow for high and low. Don't know which is which yet, but they must alternate along this line. Now, we now know there are 3 yellows and 3 reds in the puzzle, 3 low and 3 high. So this digit is 1 or 2, 2 or 3, 3 or 4. Then we jump over 5 and we've got 6 or 7, 7 or 8, 8 or 9 on the thermo, because those are the 6 digits in play. These are both high, so yellow must now, we can't have 4 highs in box 1, so yellow must now be low, I'm making it blue. Red must be high, I'm making it orange. And we've got 3 blues and 3 oranges in the puzzle, so in the boxes we can colour those. Here we've got to have 2 blues surrounding an orange. Here we've got to have 2 oranges surrounding a blue to get the count right in row 6. Right, what about this column? That is going to be the same as that. These two are going to be the same as each other. Oh, that's going to be 1 blue and orange. So in this row, that's going to have to be orange. That's going to be 1 blue and orange. So in the row, everything else is going to have to be orange. Now that's blue for its box and column. We've had, I don't know. Okay, I don't quite know what else to do. This can't be a 6 because of its position. Its neighbours see each other. That digit is going in there. That can't be a 6 as well. Right, so that's a 7. And that means this is a 7 and the rest is 7, 8, 9. Now, can we do that same thing here? That 3 or 4 goes in here because it must appear in this box. And it can't be 4 because both of those would be 9. So it's 3. This has been the most approachable one so far, in my opinion. That's a 1 or a 2 surrounding a 7 on the line, and that's a 3. That's an 8 or 9 surrounding a 3, and that's a 7. That's 8 or 9, that's 1 or 2, that's also 1 or 2, that's also 8 or 9. That digit has become an 8. Don't know about these. This has become a 2. Don't know about these. Okay. This is not able to be a 3 or a 7 in that position. I don't think. Yes. 7 would have to be surrounded by 1, 2, and 3 would have to be surrounded by 8 or 9. So that's an extreme digit, 1 or 9. There's going to be some very straightforward way this resolves, and I'm struggling to work out what it is. Oh, this digit is different from that one, because this has 2 neighbours that see each other. So this also now can't be 7. That's not true. That's just not true. It could be 7 with 1 there and 2 there. Can it be 1? That would be 2. This would be 9. Ah, no, it can't be 1, because that would be low but would see 1, 2, and 3. So this is not low. This is definitely high. I don't quite know how the logic of that worked out, or how I was meant to see it. I mean, I saw it in a kind of case testy way, but that's fine. That's a 7, 9 pair. This is low and is a 1. This sees 1 and 3, so it's 2. Here we go. Probably can do all the low digits now. 1, 2, 3 in the corner yet again. 1 there. Should be obvious where that's high, that's low, that's a 3, so that's a 3, and that's high. And now we can do the 7, 8, 9s somehow. And I don't know how. That is not 8. So, how do we resolve these? None of these German whisper lines need anything particular from me anymore. In this row, there must be a 7 in one of those positions. So that's not 7. Oh, well, that was obvious from this 7. That's also not 7. How does this resolve? Okay, let's colour the orange digit. Let's remove the current orange colours. We'll colour 8 9s against each other in yellow and red and see what happens. Something will probably happen here, actually. That's yellow. Yeah, look at this. This sees yellow and red, so that must be a 7. That's what happened there. How intriguing. What a lovely finish, actually. That's 8 in yellow. Let's get rid of the yellow now. And this is 9 in red. And we'll get rid of the red colour. And then we've got 8 and 7. And that finishes it. Right. Key takeaways. Again, thank you for the coaching, Decatron. I'm going to move on to the 4th puzzle, which is... what is it? It's killer cages, but with a diagonal line as well. Okay, let's get cracking on this. We've got a 9, 8, 7 triple in a 24 cage. Oh, 1, 2. This is the biggest help we've ever had on finding out what the digits in the puzzle are. And of course it runs out here. 1 and 2 must both be in this row. They can't both be there or this digit would be worth 13. One of them is in this cage, along with something that is not 7, 8 or 9 in this row. 2 and 6 are the maximum, and they would lead to this being 8. So this is a minimum of 8. These are either 2, 6, 2, 7, no, 2, 6, 2, 5 or 1, 6. I think that's right. I'm pretty confident about that. So the only available digits in this puzzle are 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This 6 cage is therefore made up as a 1, 5 pair. What about this? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 add up to 24, 39, 35, 37, 38. That can't be right. Yes, it is right. 38. And then I take out digits from 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that add up to 14. Oh, well, that could be 5, 9 or 6, 8. Okay, that was unsuccessful. But we're only using one of 5 or 6. So if we're using 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, we're using that 5 in this cage then, aren't we? I don't think we can do this with 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. It's not right, clearly. So we'd be using the 5 in the cage. If we were using 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, they add up to 32, and this would be 8. If we're using 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is the alternative, they add up to 33, and this digit is a 9. Yeah, we don't know what the secret for this puzzle is yet, do we? Am I meant to be using the diagonal? Oh, maybe I'm meant to be using this. We can't use both 5 and 6. Ah, that's interesting. So I don't think we can use either of 5 or 6, since we can't use them both in this cage. Because how would you make 2 digits add up to 6 from 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, or 2 digits add up to 7 from 1, 2, 7, 8, 9? So neither 5 or 6 goes in this cage, and it must be 1, 2, 9. Right. 1, 2, 9, 5. And now we know 5's in the puzzle. So that is a 5. And this is a 9, and that's a 2. That seems to be... I might have done the maths wrong at the beginning. I'm going to go back a bit, sorry. So what I was saying was that these two include a digit from 1 or 2 and something else, and this includes a digit from 7, 8, 9. And then I claimed that we had to use 5 or 6 to fill the cage. And I think that might have been wrong now. 9 and 2 would need a 5. 9 and 1 would need a 6. 8 and 2 would need a 6. 8 and 1 would need a 7 that's not available. Okay, maybe I was all right. Maybe I was all right. Okay, I think I was all right. So I think the rest of my deductions are fine. Somehow, I don't quite understand how this ended up being 592. We need the 5 in the cage. Ah, we've taken the 6 out, and suddenly we do need everything else to max out. Okay, that does make sense. Right, so that's a 1. And we're using 592178, so that's a 5. These are from 789. That 5 on the diagonal is not very helpful, if I'm honest. Oh, now we know that the digits we're using add up to 32, and that's an 8 in this row. And on the diagonal, that's now 7, and that finishes the column. That's 8. That's not 1 in the box. 5, 7, 8. 1, 2, 9 on the diagonal. So that's 2 or 9. And that's 1, 2 or 9. And we've got a double in this column and box. And we've got a triple in this column, which leaves everything else being 5, 7 or 8 in the column. Now I've got a pair in this row, so, and in this box, 1, 2 are a pair. This must be easier to resolve. That's not an 8. 8's in one of those 2 cells in the box, so that's not 8. In this row, we now need a 7. That makes this a 9 in the corner. 9, 7, 8. That's 2 or 5. That's 1, 2 or 5. I was going to say the 7 in this box. Oh, that's not a 7. Okay, I'm not quite sure how to finish this off now. We've got all the cage fills. We know this is a 1, 2, 9 triple. I'm probably going to have to colour the 1s, 2s and 9s here to get this done. So, let's get on with that. Red, blue, yellow. This sees red in the column, blue on the line. That sees yellow and blue on the line. So red is 2 or 9. And now blue is a 1. See, that was useful. It's intriguing. I don't know how I could have seen that more clearly. We've had 1 on the line, so that's 9, and red is 2. And let's get rid of the colouring now, because it did a lovely job for us, and we can finish off everything else. 2, 1, 7, that's 5, 8, 9. That's 7. 5, 7, 5, 1, 2, 1, 7, 8. And that's another one done. 739. Cool. Ooh. Is there no chance to tick it? There it is. Okay, so we've got 2 more to do. I'm moving on to region sum lines here. So, we've got 1 digit there that adds up those 3. That's about as good as it gets. This one is segments of 2, 2, 2, and 3. That one is 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, let's colour those 2 1s, which must be the same digit. And this is a different digit. Is that any use? Those 3 must include at least 2 from 1, 2, 3. This is tricky, isn't it? I don't see how this is just fill in the digits or anything like it. There's not a single region in which all 6 are blue. So the pink digit must appear in one of those 2. The grey digit is in one of these 3. That's not very helpful. Is it something about these? Yeah, these 3 include pink. And yet they're from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pink is 3, 4, 5, or 6. And it's 2 lower digits that make up that tally appear here. Trouble is, pink could still be 3. It doesn't have to be middly. Those would be 1 and 2. I guess this would, I don't know, I'm guessing this would be 1, 2, 3 in that case. That's a dangerous thing to guess. Yeah, actually, it's not quite the case. If those 3 digits were the same as these 3, those 3 would have to be there, and that digit would be the same as one of the 3 above. So these 3 are not the same as these 3. So this is not 6, because that would be 3, 2, 1. This would be 3, and they would be 2 and 1, and you couldn't fit 3, 2, 1 here. So this digit is 7, 8, or 9. I mean, it's not a big finding, but it is a finding. I want to rule out. Oh, now these. No, I was going to say now this is not a 3, because these would be 3, 2, 1. But that there's no proof of that. These pairs could even be different pairs. Actually, there's 2 ways, whether it was a 5 or a 6 in pink. Is it important that they're different pairs? That would be really useful, but I can't possibly see a reason to allege that yet. Oh, that digit. Where does that go in this box? Not in those cells or on its own line. So that's in one of these 2. And that is at least 3 in its own right. But it's less than this, so that's 3, 4, or 5. Oh, well, this is getting interesting now. That's appearing here with a 1 or a 2. And there's another 1 or a 2 in this pair because of that. And there can't be 2 of them now because one of 1 or 2 is in this pair. Yeah, this can't be 3 and 3. Yeah, okay. So one of 1 or 2 is in this pair. One of them is in this pair. They can't both be in this pair, and that's not a 3. Similarly, they can't both be in this pair, and that's not a 3. So this has to be higher than red. So that's 5 or 6. This is 4 or 5. Red's here along with 1 or 2. The other one of 1 or 2 is here, not with red, not with 1 or 2. So this pair includes 1 from 1 or 2 and 1 from 3 or 4. Pink is now 5 or 6. And this is the only other high digit. That grey must appear in one of these cells. We're using low digits from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in all those 5 cells, and one higher one here. Okay, well that's a good start suddenly. There's a grey up there. One of these is 1 or 2. One of these is 1 or 2. Let's give these 1 or 2s a colour, like orange here and blue here. I don't know why. Blue must be in one of those 2 cells, I suppose. In fact, these 2 cells are those 2. So if we call them blue and yellow, we know that blue and yellow are up there. I know that because the yellow digit can't be there on its own line, and then these don't share any candidates. So these must be grey and orange. That's blue and yellow. This must be red down here. That's so strange to work that out. I mean, I suppose there were much easier ways of working that out. This is yellow. Oh, those two, no, hang on. I should have marked those as blue and yellow. So that's blue or yellow. That's better. And we've got orange and blue or yellow in these two. Now, we need two very low digits here. Let's just imagine that this is a 4. These are 1, 3. Then, hang on, this wouldn't work. Oh yes, it would. This would be 4 and 2, and pink would be 6. On the other hand, if that's a 5, this has to be 6 anyway. Pink is always 6, apparently. That's a surprising finding. Now, these are either 1, 2, or 4, 5. Didn't we have to use 3? No. We're using 4 of these digits. We don't have to use 3. However, if that's a 4, this is 1, 3, and that's 2, 4. If that's a 5, this is 5, 1, and that's 2, 3. What? If that's a 4, there's a 3 in use here. If that's a 5, red is a 5, and this is 5, 1, and that's 2, 3. So there's always a 3 in use in the puzzle. Strange, but true. And therefore, these must be red and orange, because 1, 2, 4, 5 are not all in use in the puzzle, because 3 is. So that is now a red-orange pair, and I can colour them, orange and red. And that was a surprise. I thought I was going to find they were different. So that's not orange. That is orange. And this row, we've got pink and grey still to place. In this row, blue and yellow. Oh, we're going to come to the white dot for disambiguation soon. But I've got this long line. Oh, and the shorter line. I don't know what to do now. 3 is in the puzzle. What? 6 is in this set. Aha! That is 6, 2, 1. And this is a 9 in grey. That's how to do it. That's how to do it. So what for the 6? Do you know what? I don't know. I thought that was going to resolve everything. Yes, I need a 3 in the bottom row, so it goes in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight. Now, maybe I can begin to approach this long line. 1, 2, 6, 3 and 9. What are these two pairs in the same box? If I'm using 1, 2, 6, 3, 9, and either 4 or 5, not both, I can't use 9 in any of these pairs, can I? The biggest... I could maybe. 9, 1 and 6, 4. Yeah, okay, I could use 9 in one of the two pairs. No, I couldn't though, because here, 9, 3, if 9... Oh, but maybe 9's not... No, it's really interesting actually. I can't use 9 in either of these pairs. Because if it was in either of those pairs, you couldn't make this up. The pairs would add up to at least 10. You couldn't make this up without using the 9. But then you'd be using at least 9, 3. And you can't make another pair in this puzzle up to 12 without using 9, because 6... I don't think you can use 6 and... You could use 6 and 5, but it doesn't get there. So, 9 is not in these pairs. 9's in one of those cells, which places 9 here, which is grey, obviously. This digit, therefore, is 6. Now 6 is in one of these two, adding up with something else. But it can't be 6 and 3 and 5 and 4. Because we can't use both 5 and 4 in this puzzle, if I'm right. Red is either 5 or 4, but it's not both. Orange is 1 or 2 in this pair. So, 6, 3 won't work. So the 6 must be going with either 1 or 2. 6, 1 and 3, 4 would be valid. 6, 2 and 3, 5 would be valid. Well, that's annoying. Okay, this can't be a 9 because 8's not in the puzzle, so that's 9. This has very much been the hardest one in my opinion. That's not 9 now. Now, we've worked out that these pairs are going to add up to 7 or 8. So 9 is not in use on this bit either. So that's 9. And now I can place 9 up here and make the corner pink, which we know is 6. That's now not 6 or pink. Now, that's 1 or 2. This is 4 or 5. This is 1 or 2. This is the yellow one that is 1 or 2. That's the yellow one that's 1 or 2. Actually, that's 1 or 2 as well. So this bit of the line is either adding up to 7 or 8, again, typically. Ah, but that bit, this digit is used there. So whether it's 7 or 8, it must go with a 3. So that's now suddenly, hang on. No, that's definitely using 3. That's what I was trying to say, which we knew anyway. And these add up to either 7 or 8. It's going to come down to the white dot, as I keep saying. Oh, the white dot is not 1, 2 as a pair because of that. It can't be 4, 5 because they're not both in use. So it's either 2, 3 or 3, 4. It uses a 3. If it was 2, 3, that would be a 1. This isn't 6 now. 6 is on this bit of the line with either 1 or 2 because we know the line adds up to 7 or 8. If it's 6, 1, this is 3, 5. And that couldn't be 3. If it's 6, 2, it's 3, 5, and that couldn't be 3. If it's 6, this can't be 1. 1 must be on a line. 1 can't be on this line, adding up with something else to something that would be 6, 2 on this one. So 1 is on this line. It is 6, 1. It adds up to 7. That means red is a 4. That's a 4, 2 pair. That's a 1, 3 pair in the end. Orange is a 2. That digit in the corner is a 1. This is now 3 in that cell. I mean, this should all be obvious. Oh, it's this pair. I'm using 9, 1, 6, 2, 3, 4. And they have to add up to 7. They're 3 and 4. That's a 2. We've got 1 in the corner. Okay, let's get rid of all the colouring at this point because it's done its marvellous job. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9 are the digits in use. Well, this puzzle has been the hardest one and very entertaining, but I'm glad to finish it. Excellent, right? And now we've got one more to do in what is a longer video than I was expecting, but that's cool. And I said at the beginning, the fun may be watching which one I struggle with the most. Maybe we've had that, maybe we haven't. Okay, arrows, only arrows here. Ooh, well, I mean, here we are again. This is 6, 7, 8, or 9, and there are 2 low, really low digits here. But these are even longer. That is 7, 8 or 9. That one is 7, 8 or 9 because we're adding at least 1, 2, 3 here and then at most 1, 2 or 3 in the other cell. Now that is repeating. Let's leap into colouring this time. That's also repeating there, but it could be the same as red. Yeah, I don't know. And we can't say this is definitely 1, 2, 3, unfortunately, because there could be a 4 in there. Oh, that digit has to appear in one of these cells. Well, that's a surprise. This yellow has to be in one of those two. So this must be even higher. And this can't be maximal height. And now down here, we've got 7 or 8 along with 1 or 2, making this massive digit. So these are two very low. Oh, goodness me. Okay, things took a turn there. Let's give that violet for the massive digit. Now, I still don't know whether these are the same as red. They're definitely repeats because this line needs a repeat and that's the only place it can get one. What about this digit? Don't know. This is not the same as yellow, so it's another quite big digit. Oh, I suppose it could be violet, couldn't it? Yeah. That's very plausible. Okay, let's imagine these are red. We would be able to place all the reds in the puzzle straight away. That is now not 8 or 9. Sorry, it's not 9. So this can't be 3 anymore in red here. And these, I don't think they can include a 5 anymore, because that would be 5, 1, 2, and 1 at a minimum. So these are definitely from 1, 2, 3, 4. And they must include, I think, both 1 and 2, because this portion of the line can't add up to more than 7. So 1 and 2 are in the puzzle. Oh, in fact, that was obvious down here. One of them is, let's give it a different colour from yellow. Let's say dark blue. So 1 and 2 are the colours of red and dark blue. In fact, dark blue must be in those cells. So that is, in fact, a 1-2 pair. This digit is not 1 or 2 now. That's quite interesting. 3, 4 or 5. Okay. Well, this is slightly better progress than I was making before. Now, this digit, I feel it couldn't really be 3, but I haven't got that evidence. This can't be a 1-2 pair. Yellow in this box, I mean, I presume it's one of those 2 big digits, but I generally presume they're yellow and violet, and that's violet, but I just don't have that yet. 1 and 2 are here. These include this, which needs a colour. Let's make it green and violet. And this digit, about which I know nothing so far. Oh, goodness. Okay, I don't quite know where to go next for a deduction. If this wasn't red, oh, maybe let's try and rule out it being 3 first of all. If that was 3, this is 3, this is a 1-2 pair. I don't know. It's not easy to rule that out from being 3. Here's a different thing. If this was 1 or 2 repeating here, in this column, that would be a 1-2 pair. These would be at least 3-4. And no more than 3-5. Otherwise, this would break. In that case, this pair would have to be 3-4 or 3-5, because they would need to appear in row 5 somewhere. So if this was 1 or 2, we've got 3-5 in the puzzle. Let's give that a colour. They would be green and grey. If that was 1 or 2, these would be green and grey. That would be 1 or 2 as well. This would be 8 or 9. And that's if pink is 1 or 2. I mean, that's quite a constraining circumstance. Grey would be 3, 4, or 5. How would I be using that? Actually, I think that is possible. Maybe, I mean, what I thought was less likely was that pink was a repeating 3. If pink's a repeating 3, that's a 1-2 pair. This digit is definitely 9. Okay, this is worth working on. If pink is 3, which one of these is pink? Probably that one. I know, probably doesn't. Oh, this, I don't know. What is this? Goodness, I don't know. Right. Even up here, we could still have violet be in one of those 2 cells. That's really strange. If violet was there, in row 1, violet can't be in these cells. If it was there, it would be 8, that would be 1, that would be 9, this would be 7, and that would have to be a repeat 1. That wouldn't work. So violet can't be there. So in the top row, violet's in one of those 2 cells. I don't know what that does. Yellow is down here. That was such a good deduction, and it's not actually moved me on yet. Oh, yellow in this box, actually, I can place that. It's not there by Sudoku or there. It can't be on the line, because the line would add up to at least 10, so yellow must be there. Yellow also can't be there, so that's yellow. Oh, well, that's interesting. I had not seen that. Now, this is very good news, because those 2, what are they? They're going to involve grey, because I don't think you can make these up from 1, 2. Oh, no, it could be 8 equals 7 plus 1. But if yellow was 8, violet would be 9. As if this was 7 plus 1, it would include grey. So grey is definitely on that arrow. Sorry, I don't know if I completed the thought that you can't make up 7 or 8 using just 1, 2, and 1 of 3 or 4. So it must use grey. I think this must be violet now, based on the colours available from row 5. Now, we don't know what grey is. I mean, I have to be honest about that. It could be as little as 3. And therefore, I can't definitely say that this is red and blue, which I would love to say. Can I definitively say that 1 and 2 are on this line? If they weren't, on this bit of the line, if they weren't, this would be 1, 3, 4, and that would be a 1. So these would both be 1s. That would be a 3-4 pair. We'd have 1s in all of these positions. So 1 would have missed this arrow, and yet the digits in use in the puzzle would be 1, 3, 4 and very high digits. So I think this arrow in box 4 would have to be 3, 4, adding up to a 7 in grey. For this to be a repeating 1, that arrow is 3, 4, adding up to 7. And grey is 7 then. Now that won't work, because then up here we'd need a 1 on this 2-cell arrow, but also in the cell. Now what was I starting with? I was starting with a 1, 3, 4 triple in the top row. I can now reject that. All that's proven to me is that 1 and 2 are on this arrow. And that's actually not all that helpful. I was thinking there must be a pair here. That's not true. This one can be the other one of 1 or 2. Oh, violet is 8 or 9, and we now know that's violet. So that's 8 or 9. I hadn't put that in. This baby here. It all depends on what grey is. If grey is from 3 or 4... Oh, I can't work it out. This is not... Is this violet? Yeah, violet can't be in those cells. Well, okay, violet's in one of those two, and it's definitely there in column 4. That's not quite what I was hoping to discover. These two are grey and green between them. Grey is now in one of those 2 cells, and grey is not 1 or 2. But this, does this need a 1 or 2 on it? I'm sure it does. But it can get 1 here. It will get 1 here. That's 8 or 9. Oh, but we just don't know what pink is. Maybe I should remove the pinkness of pink and make it A, because I don't want to think of it as a 7th colour. Yellow can't be on this line. It's too big a number. So yellow's in the corner. Now that's not yellow. That's blue. And that's definitely yellow. And now yellow's there. And that's quite interesting. That's quite a lot of places for yellow that I hadn't found and ticked off before. Violet is in one of those 2 cells and one of those 2. Right, violet can't be on this arrow because grey would be very, very high and couldn't sit here or here actually. So violet's in one of those 2, one of those 2, one of these 2. That's not actually all that helpful. I bet it's there, but I don't know this. I still don't know what grey is at all. One of these surely is red or blue. Goodness. What can these be? Didn't I just work out these couldn't be 1, 3, 4? They must involve 1 and 2. So that I did, and I'm happy with that conclusion. Because it was because of 1s. That would have to be a 1. That would be a 1. We'd have 1s there and there. Something went wrong. It was with this arrow. This arrow would then have to be adding up to a digit that would be at least 5. Okay, let's go through this again. I want to prove that these must involve 1 and 2. So if they didn't, the only way we can do it is 1, 3, 4 plus 1. We'd have 1s in both those cells. Red would be 1 down here, because there's a repeat down here as well. Is that even fair? I've got to be very careful here. I'm sorry. If I'm saying, what if these didn't include 1 and 2? They would be 1, 3, 4. This would be 9. Violet would be 9. A would be a repeat 1. That's definitely true. 1, 3, 4, and 9 would be in the puzzle. That would be a 1. Doesn't have to be the repeat digit yet, I don't think. And maybe I'm being that would be 1 as well. That would be 1. Oh, by Sudoku, good lord, that would be 1. Okay, so that's fair. If 1, 2 were not on this arrow in row 1, these would be ones that I've got highlighted. And 3, 4 would both be in the puzzle. Therefore, grey would be 3 or 4. But it wouldn't be able to have a 1 on its arrow in box 3. And that's no good. That just doesn't work. Good. Okay, so red and blue, 1 and 2 are on this line. And this is green or grey. And that's now forming a pair in this column. So red and blue have to be in those cells. And this is violet. And that's good, because now we can limit it to 8 or 9. I feel like this has to be red or blue. No, I don't know that. I don't know that. Green and grey, could they add up? Ah, you see, that's interesting. If this is red or blue, then green and grey do add up to 7 or 8. And green is therefore somewhere between 3 and 5. Grey, I hope I said there. I might have just said green when I meant grey, which doesn't help you understand what I'm thinking. I was about to say this can't be violet. Let's just figure that one out. If this cell was violet, it would be an 8. This grey digit would be a 9, but 9 would appear here. That's no good. So, violet can't be there, and now it can't be there. That's violet. That's violet. All the violets are placed. All the yellows are placed. Those are the really big digits, although we don't know what grey is. We know it's a bit less than yellow. And, well, we know it's not more than 6 from this arrow. Actually, it can't be 6 either, because that would require this to be 6, 2, 1, and yet that cell is 1 or 2. So grey is 3, 4, or 5 now, which is quite interesting for this arrow, which is either green and 1 or 2, or it is 1 and 2. Wow, we're still very much not done in this puzzle. It's mad, isn't it? Could this be a 3? Let's go back to that, because things might have moved on a bit now. If A was a repeat 3 with a 1, 2 here, I don't know. Well, that would be 3 in box 4, and that would be 3 in the corner. 3 would be in one of those cells, so that would be 3. Yeah, okay, 3 in box 3 would be in column 1, so that would be 3. 3 would be green and in the corner. If this was a repeat 3 in A. And now this 3, 6. Oh, I don't know. Grey would be 4 or 5. And green would be 3. How are you going to make up this yellow 7 or 8 total in box 2 if you're not going to include the 3 in the puzzle? Oh, by having 1 and 7. No, but we're not using 1 or 7. We're using 1 and 2, 2 of 3 or 5, 2 of 7, 8, 9. Right, if A was a 3, I don't think you can make up this arrow in box 2. You've got 1 from 4 and 5, and you've got both of, well, you've got 1 from 1 or 2 available. Oh, 5 plus 2. Well done. Well done, Mark. That equals 7. Good Lord, it could work. If A is a repeat 3, we've got 5 in the corner plus 2 to make 7. So grey would be 5. Which would have to be made up of 3 and 2. Do you know, I do think that works. So maybe I have to prove that this isn't red or blue. That's so surprising. Right, if this is red or blue, we've got the pair here. We're making up the 7 or 8 total from green and grey instead, which seems very, very doable. But now this would be green and grey. Yeah, that's fine. If this is the red or blue repeating, that's what I'm working on this time. This would be the corner cell. It would have to be grey. That cell repeat. In fact, that cell, can it go there? Only if it's a 3. Maybe that's worth investigating. It seems this is so difficult. This is taking much longer than the other ones. So this is the hard puzzle. Well, I mean, that would give us some indication about the order that Decatron suggested I try these in. Right, 1, oh, well, up here, look at that. I haven't even filled this in. This is blue and grey for the column. And blue and grey are roping down here. I mean, it's worth putting these blooming colours in. That's red or green. That digit is a repeat digit, so that's red or green. And now in this row, that can't be red or green, so that has to be grey. This is how to do it, Mark. That's blue. This is grey. This is not grey. This is, I don't know, red, blue or green. But grey there is looking at the corner, which is green. That makes this grey. Now, in this column, we've got a green and a red or a blue to put in there. Grey is 3, 4 or 5. We've worked that out somewhere. Green is 3 or 4. These red blues are 1 or 2. So, we've got the repeat. Oh, is it actually difficult to get up to 8 or 9 now? These must be 1, 2, and 3 or 4. No, it's not difficult. Bother. What colour is this? Red, blue, or green? So is that. I don't know. It just seems incredible. There's only one way to work this out. Is green there or is green there? I don't know. This has to be adding up to less than this. See, that is quite interesting. That's a really interesting analysis. If red was repeating here, this arrow would be double red plus blue plus green. this arrow would be double red plus blue plus green. And they'd both have to add to the same number, and they don't, because one's yellow and one's violet. So this is not a red repeating here, this is green repeating there, and that has to be a 3. And here we go now. We're actually going to start filling this in. That's green. This digit is 1 or 2 in red. This is now a 9 in violet. We can just do them all. Okay, down here, don't know yet. But green is 3. That's a 3 in the corner. We did get one in the final puzzle. This digit is 4 or 5. That is not made up of red and blue. It can't use its own grey on the arrow. That was so blatant from before. That's grey now. This one is, I don't know, red or blue. Anyway, this grey is using 1 or 2 there. This can't be red because that would be 1 plus 2 equals 3. So this is definitely green 3. That makes this green 3. That makes this red or blue. Right. Now, this is red or blue. That's almost all the colouring done. This digit is grey is 4 or 5 now. That's what we've learned. Right, so everything's marked up. Now, this one is using repeat red. This arrow's done. This is the one, isn't it? This is going to have to be minimum here, 7 equals 5 plus 2 maximum. There we go. So yellow is 7, grey is 5. This digit is 2. That arrow works now, which is good news. Now 6 plus that is a 1. Red is a 1. Let's get the colouring right over this side. And blue is a 2. And these are 2s. And that is the solution to the hardest and last puzzle in this set. My goodness, and there's some coaching as well, which ends with make sure to watch Cracking the Cryptic I just saw there. Make sure to watch Cracking the Cryptic videos to learn the secret. Oh, wow. I mean, I really don't think these were wildly approachable, Decatron, but they were very interesting variant lessons. So thank you for those. Thank you for watching and following along with me. Great fun from Decatron. Some quite tough puzzles there. And thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.